All right. Wow. Today is September 1st at 11:11 p.m. This is an episode this is an experiment episode 19. Wow, look at how those numbers stack up. It is 9-1 at 11:11 and this is episode 19. Just a whole lot of ones in between two nines. I'll tell you what. Um, I, if numbers could talk, if numbers could talk, let's talk about numbers that talk actually right now. I'm going to talk about numbers that talk. Uh, the numbers that are talking to me right now is the YouTube numbers for This Is an Experiment. I've got it up in front of me. I got my first like after the video I posted yesterday. I don't know who it was. I don't know how they found me. I, I don't know what it was that they liked so much, or if they just did it to fuck with me. But I mean, I suppose if they did it just to fuck with me, they would have given me a thumbs down. So if I see a thumbs down on this video or another video, I'm just going to assume it's somebody that's here to fuck with me. Um, what's so interesting as I look at these numbers is that the view came like within 10-15 minutes, like within 15 minutes of me uploading episode 18. um there's one view, and of the one view there was one thumb up. Maybe it was an accident, I don't know. And it shows that the view duration was 0:23. So I don't know if that's 23 seconds or 23 minutes, but I'd like to think it's 23 seconds. So, I don't know what there is to like. Or maybe there's not enough number. I don't know. It's mind-boggling. I really don't know what to make of it. It's like just I don't know. I look at the YouTube thing, and the video has 3 impressions, um, one view, one unique viewer, and watch time of 23 seconds. And the uh, the it looks like what was how someone found it was by searching the word experiment. I don't know. I mean, I don't know exactly how to read YouTube analytics. I guess I could look. But it shows traffic source, YouTube search, and then it just says experiment. Um it just says experiment. And so I don't know if someone was looking for that keyword, but I don't know. It's weird. So I got my first like. So I guess to track the statistics of this experiment, um, I couldn't have liked this myself. It would corrupt the results. So it took a whopping 18 episodes for someone to view it and give me my first like, my first thumbs up. And yeah, I don't know. But it doesn't look like many other videos got any views. Um, Episode 10 had that view. Episode 15 had a view. Episode 18 had a view. And episode 18 was the one that actually got a like. The episode that brought this channel to adulthood, whatever that means. 18 episodes as if it's 18 years. I don't know. So, something's happening with this channel, and I don't know what it is. But I just figured I would update. And my dog is chewing on his foot. Quincy, leave it. Yeah, come here. Yeah, come on. You see me? Come on. Let's go. Look at that little pupper. I don't know if I've introduced you to my doggos yet. This is Quincy. He's a cutie. He's a cutie. My first dog I ever got. First doggo. You know, as I sit here and I try to think about what I'm gonna do next in life, because I'm really not sure. I'm at a loss. Literally at a loss and figuratively. You know, I feel like I dumped a shit ton of time and energy and money into a whole thing that isn't even like coming. It's nothing's happening with it. The whole online coaching pro. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. No one wants to buy it. I'm okay with it. Um, what is this? 8 to 13. Oh, a timestamp. I know. I did a live stream. I because yesterday I made my big huge reveal post, and it got some reacts, and nobody expressed interest. And the strategy that I was supposed to follow is when people reach out and express interest in the program, then I make posts about how excited I am to talk to these people that reached out to me, but no one's done that. So I can't really post about that with integrity. Um, and like as I really think about it, I don't I don't want to run people through a program. Because I don't want to go through a program. I don't work that way. I don't work that way at all. Like because it's linear. I don't function linearly, right? And programs are, it's like how do you take something. Well, all of that was I was like, how do I take a non-linear process and make it linear? Anyway, I did a live stream talking about something, and someone popped in. I just sat there and I waited for someone to pop in so I could start going. I started talking for about 20 seconds, and then that person dipped. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going and see who pops in, which was no one. No one. No one popped in at all. At all. And so I got to the end of my whole thing, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Delete. I just deleted that shit. You know what? Because I wasn't really feeling it. TBH. I wasn't feeling it. Then later or earlier tonight, or like as in maybe like an hour ago or something, I got on my old Facebook profile, the one that I had abandoned like 4 or 5 months ago. I haven't really done anything on it since. I got on and I did a live stream of the four biggest lesson takeaways from this year for anybody that cared to listen. And I actually got more views on there. I don't know who was watching. I have no idea who was watching. I could guess, and it was like, and it was and it was people that stuck around for a fair amount of time to listen to some of the stuff that I had to say. Of course, they weren't in it for the long haul, and that's fine. I don't care. But the thing is I'd removed all of my business contacts from that profile. So what that means is the people that were watching are people that knew me before I started my business. I have no idea who they were. Could have been musicians, could have been people from New Jersey. I have no idea who the fuck they were. That's kind of like the interesting thing about all that live stream stuff. You have no idea who's watching unless they drop a comment, says, "Hey, what's up? I'm here. I'm watching." Fuck, for all I know, it could have been my dad. Maybe my dad was up late and he saw, "Oh my god, dude, what's David talking about?" Who knows? In case you're wondering, the 4 lessons were: start doing less, stop implementing micro strategies that are diametrically opposed to your long-term strategies. Slow the fuck down. Slow the fuck down. And prioritize based on value. What's the most valuable stuff? That goes first. August was a month of slowing down for me. It's fucking September. Put a big old goose egg on the month of August. Big old goose egg on the month of August. Happens. Right? It does. But it is September 1st. It is a new month. It is a new month. New time for opportunity. I don't know how I feel about my hair. I'm kind of just, I'm cool with it. I'm at the, I honestly, I don't know if I would say I had a breakdown today or a meltdown. It wasn't a meltdown, kind of a breakdown. TBH. I had a bit of a breakdown. Not necessarily a bad thing, but it's like, it was more of a let me just feel all of my emotions for a hot second so I can purge that shit from my system and get myself thinking clearly again. Here's the thing. I When you're not thinking clearly, you make bad decisions. When you're emotionally activated, you make bad decisions. You don't necessarily make bad decisions, but maybe not, all the way thought out. Emotionally drunk, as John Whiting would say. Whiting, I don't know how to. Emotionally drunk. You're too in your emotions to think clearly about what's actually going on. So what do? You remove yourself from your emotional intoxication. Makes sense. So you can actually think logically about what's going on in your world, in your life. Yeah. And now I'm reprioritizing, reorganizing, reevaluating, redoing everything, because that's like how you do it. I don't know. But my Binance is up $5, so that's cool. Not that it makes that big of a difference. I don't know, maybe I'll make some money from this. Who knows? It's yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I see. Yeah, you know what? It doesn't matter. You know what really matters to me right now? What matters most to me right now? I mean, it's making money. I'm in the season of wealth, making money. I think one of the biggest things that I'm like fighting, is that I'm in the wrong industry. Kind of. Not that I'm in the wrong industry and doing coaching, but in the wrong industry approach to coaching. That whole internet marketing stuff. Oh, you have to advertise your business online. Oh, okay, yeah, cool. I get that. Sure, why not? I guess. Um, I don't. There's a time and a place for it, okay? But the way that I see it, the people that and maybe this is just, me speaking out of my own ignorance and stupidity. Who knows? You know me. I'm fully subject to being wrong about a lot of shit all the time, and I own it. I'm cool with that. But I feel like the people that I want to work with, they're not the kind of people that are going to hire me because they read some shit that I posted on Facebook. It just, if I really think about it, like what it is it's like putting in a trap door is kind of like how I see this. Is it's like you post, you post, and you post, and you post, and then hopefully at some point, somebody is like, ah, shit, I'm dealing with that thing now. Hey, David, what's up? Let's talk. It is. It's like putting a trap door in your Facebook profile or some shit like that. I don't know. But no, the people that I want to work with in the way that I want to work with them, it's not gonna happen by by posting on my profile and hoping somebody sees it and then they're like, oh yeah, I do want that. It's antiquated, outdated. I've seen other. Here's the thing. Here's my thing with all of this, is that I say this as someone that is not having success with it, right? And so naturally, there's the group of people that would say, "Oh, stop complaining and whining and blah blah blah," and like you don't like it so and all that stuff. It's like I mean, I can see that, but if somebody that was more successful than them said the same thing, then what would that would be? It's it's an ego trip. All of it is an ego trip. Is there something to be said for advertising your business online and talking about your business online? Absolutely. For sure. Yes, totally. But trapdooring clients, um, Facebook phishing, it can work and it does work for specific things and specific people, but it's not the way. There's a million different business models. There's a million. I've said it before. I'm gonna say it now. I'll probably say it again a million times in the future. There's a million ways to make $1 million, and everybody that's made $1 million their way thinks that their way is the way to do it. And if you're not willing to, use their way to make $1 million, you're lazy. Or if you don't want to do the work that they say to do, you're lazy. If you could just see the world the way that I see it, they say, and just do things the way that I do, they say, then you would be successful. But the reason that you're not successful is because you're not doing the things that I say you should do the way that you should do them. If you just did it my way, then you would be golden. Instead of asking what makes sense for you. Now, for some people, they like that. uh, they don't like having to think for themselves. Interesting. Some people don't. Some people find something that fits within their current paradigm and they use it and it works because it follows the rule of the game that they're playing. But a rule in one game doesn't apply to all games, right? For example, when I mean, how do you, you know, win with basketball? You put the ball through the net, right? How do you win with soccer? You put the ball into the net, right? How do you win with football? You run the ball or pass the ball into a specific area, or you kick it through the field goals. And then it hits a net so that it doesn't go into the crowd. Um, but the rules are not the same, right? Basketball, you can't move across the court, can't move across the field uh, while holding onto the ball. You have to bounce it. Same with soccer. You can't hold it, but instead of bouncing it, you have to, maneuver it with your foot. Football, you actually have to hold on to the ball in order to, make progress. If you drop the ball, if the ball touches the ground, then the game stops. Different games function by a different set of rules. And I think the all of this to say is that when you don't know what game you're playing and you try to apply a specific set of rules from one game to another game where the rules are different or where the premise of the game it functions differently, then it's not going to work, right? You teach someone how to dribble a ball, right? We're gonna get really good at dribbling the ball. We're gonna play basketball. Say, okay, now take this and go do this while playing football. You're gonna lose every single time. Why? Because the second the ball hits the ground, you're like, yeah. It's like, okay, yeah, cool. Give me the ball. Got the ball. Bam. Throw it on the ground. Game over. Because that's not how the game works. So what am I figuring out from all of this? Know what game is being played, right? Don't try to apply the skills from one game in a different game and expect them to work because they won't. This is a good one to write this down. And this is like kind of the what I've been figuring out slowly. It's like now that I say this, like, duh, makes so much sense. Because I was using rules for different games to try to win a game that didn't like I was using the rules of basketball while playing football, and then using the rules of football while playing soccer, and then using the rules of soccer while playing baseball, and it's just different ways of playing different games. And that's kind of like what I've kind of had to figure out is what game I'm actually playing. Because if I'm playing the game by the wrong rules, or I'm using the wrong skills for the game, then it's no surprise that I'm losing. That's I don't know what just clicked in my head right there, but it was great. Something just like, and it's like I'd been thinking about this and I hadn't quite put it all together yet. Um, but now that I have, it makes sense. It's not that I it's not that I was lazy. It's not that I was dumb. It's not that I wasn't good at what I do or any of that stuff. It's that I didn't have clarity of what the game it was that I was playing. I was talking to someone that I'd hired to kind of help me with this, and in a group capacity, and gave me this whole strategy to use. And I hit him up, and I was like, "Look, I did all the shit, and no one hit me up, and all this that, and anyway." And he was like, what he said is, it's like, yeah, you've got all of the ingredients, you got all the right ingredients. It just isn't really coming together for you. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly it. Flour, sugar, eggs, milk. That's the basic ingredients you need to bake a cake, right? But the cake can only be made from flour, milk, and eggs and sugar if you know how to combine them properly, and then how to bake them, what temperature, what length of time, how do you get the thing to come out right, based on the quality of the chef, right? So I guess I'm a shitty chef. I don't know. Um, it's one of these things where it has nothing to do with my mindset, has nothing to do with how good I am at what I do, or that I might not actually be good at what I do, because I am good at what I do and I know this. Um, I know how to teach somebody exactly what they need to learn when they need to learn it. It's that I fucking suck at marketing, because I think it's stupid. Honestly, I do. Even though I understand it, I get it, but I don't. Rich Litvin said he had a one sentence marketing plan: meet fun and interesting people. That's one hell of a marketing plan. I like it. It's really, really simple. Now, I could say, you know what? Yeah, that's going to be my marketing plan to meet fun and interesting people. But that's not. But that's not mine. That's his. He can have that. So what I need to find out is my one sentence marketing plan. What's my one sentence marketing plan? That's what I have to work out. I need to take all that stuff off of the whiteboard, jot it down somewhere, and transfer it to something new, and then and start using that for more ideas. Yawn. What is my one sentence marketing plan? I don't know. I have yet to figure it out. So I guess what's my homework for myself? Figure out what game I'm playing. Figure out what game I'm playing. Figure out what game I want to play. Figure out the rules of the game that I want to play. And then create a one sentence plan to play the game. Makes sense. That's my homework. There's something really interesting. I'm going to talk about this too. Um, I had a call with a client today, and I called him earlier this week, or we set up the appointment. I was like, you have time Thursday or Friday or what's that? And he said, well, I can do 5 o'clock on Wednesday. It's like, okay, cool, sounds good, perfect, let's do it. And then slightly before, he was like, hey, actually, so I have a physical training that I get done with at 5, so it'll be just a little bit after that, if that's okay. I was like, okay, cool. And like in my mind, I already knew what was going on. So I was like, okay, cool. 5:15 sounds good. No problem. I can work with you on this, because I knew, you'll see where I'm going with this in a second. Normally, I wouldn't allow that. I'd be like, we said 5, we're going to do 5. Okay. So I said 5. He's like, well, closer to 5:15. Okay, cool. I can do that. Get on 5:15, and he's like, "Hey, yeah, I'm just gonna be on audio only for a little bit. I'm walking back to my apartment from the gym, and blah blah blah." And I was like, "Okay, tell you what." I was like, how long is it? He's like, oh, just like, 2 or 3 minutes and I'll be back in my, I was like, okay, tell you what, let's meet back at 5:30. Okay. I'm going to give you another 15 minutes, get your shit together, get settled, and we'll hop on the call. Okay. And we got on the call and, he starts, going off and, well, this is the stuff that I'm working on and this and that. And I was like, okay, pause. Right. And I stopped him like right there. And I was like, why do you think that I wanted to pause all of this and start a half hour late for you, and kind of went down this whole thing, and ultimately, because one of the things that I'm working with him on is boundaries, and how to create those and how to enforce them, and all of that. And so what I used this whole thing with him as is a exercise in demonstrating what it looks like to set a boundary, what it looks like to address a boundary when it's been violated, and what to do to make sure that that boundary isn't crossed again in the future. And I said, okay, pull up your calendar. What's the next week look like for you? Let's pick a time when you have nothing going on before this. Set up a time. We'll be able to start on time. Sound good? Yes. Cool. Knocked it out. And while there are a plethora of things going on in his business and in his world, ultimately, what this was a manifestation of his inability around to set effective boundaries, which he knows is something he needs to work on. And so we did a lot of work, kind of around all of that stuff. But being able to use that like flip that whole exchange between him and I, that whole engagement, if you will, being late and then late again, and me pushing it off, and then using it as a teaching moment. It's like whatever the fuck that you wanted to talk about, we're not talking about it. We're talking about boundaries because you just violated one of mine, and you have problems with boundaries. It's no surprise that you have a problem setting boundaries if you have a hard time respecting other people's boundaries. Mirror shit, bro. And it's good, and I'm not mad about it. And that's one of the things I told him too. I was like, "Look, I'm not mad about this. I have no problem doing this because I know that it's a good lesson for you. This is like something that you need to work on. I have no problem doing this one time." And it usually happens in that way. There's usually one of these calls where I have to use myself as the example, and yeah, and it was good. Um, it's just really interesting how all of that stuff works out. How you can use stuff to loop back into itself. That's why I'm good at what I do. I know what people need to hear before they know that they need to hear it. I know what people's problems are before they realize that they're manifesting. I realize how, the way people are doing is like reflective of it's just how I know. I'm just good at it. I'm just good at what I do with that shit. Why? Because I do it all to myself all the time. Let me look at this shit. What is this saying about me, right? If I can't respect my coach's boundaries, how can I expect my clients to respect mine, right? If I don't know what it means to have boundaries enforced upon me, how do I know what it looks like to enforce them, right? It's like it's all reflective. It's all reflective, mirroring back. So let's get to the bottom of why it's happening. Let's put some stuff in place. Let's make some shit happen so you can start moving forward in life and get things done better, faster, and all of that. Yeah. So just to like kind of like toot my own horn for a little bit. Because look, I am good at what I do. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I know how good I am at what I do. Like I'm so good at what I do. Here's the glory of like what I do is that it doesn't matter if someone's more successful than me. I can still coach them. Because I'm not teaching them stuff. I'm highlighting the shit that they're not seeing. it's it's really really that simple. And it's okay to acknowledge when you're really good at shit. It's not being cocky, it's just stating facts. Here's the thing, humility can destroy someone's progress, right? Humility is its own form of self-defeating pattern, right? Every time someone gives you a compliment, you're like, oh, thanks, it's just blah, 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 right? Diminishing your own value, right? Humility is a diminishment of value in its own sort of regard. Not to say that you have to go out all of the time and like, oh, look at me and how awesome I am. Hey, everybody, look at me. I'm awesome. Hey, look at all of this awesome stuff that I blah, blah, blah. But look, it's not bad to give yourself credit for what you're good for, especially if you have evidence of how you can back it up. You have examples that you can drop. Or even just doing it for yourself. Acknowledge what you're good at and don't diminish it. There's the biggest mistake that I made for most of my life is diminishing my own ability. Because for some twisted reason, I thought that diminishing praise was healthy. It was like good. That's what it means to be humble, right? And here's the thing, if you can't speak highly about yourself, then how can you possibly expect somebody else to speak highly of you as well? Right? If you can't say I'm good at what I do, how can you possibly expect somebody else to say it too? I mean, yeah, you do what you do and you hope somebody else, says it. Absolutely. But if you're not able to acknowledge it within yourself, then you're not going to believe it. Right? Even if somebody says you're really good at what you do, if you don't believe that you're good at what you do, you're not going to believe them. And you're going to diminish your skill. And you're going to put a limit on yourself. It's going to keep you where you are. You're not going to grow. Just what it is. Okay, this has been going on way too fucking long. So I'm going to sign off. Today is Wednesday, September 1st. 11:50 p.m. This is an experiment episode. What would I say? 19. Episode 19. All right. Peace out.